What is going on, my friends, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Now, in today's video, we're going to be going over what's happening right now with Solana because things are heating up. They're getting very interesting, and you need to pay close attention to what its price is trying to do right now, because it could be huge. And so with that said, let's not waste any more time at all, and let's get straight into the video. Now guys, don't forget, if you do want to trade some Solana on up to 50x leverage without needing the KYC, meaning you don't need to give them any of your personal information, you can use my Margex link down in the description below. You can trade Solana with several different forms of collateral, guys, like USDT, Bitcoin, ETH, XRPs, AVAX, Tron, and many more. And the coolest thing about it as well is that when you do sign up and start trading, you're going to get up to $10,000 in bonuses. So make sure you do check out that link down below. Now, looking at Solana here, of course, what we can see is things are heating up. Solana's price did, of course, get rejected off of this macro point of resistance like we spoke about a couple days ago. And I said, look, if we do get rejected here, do understand that Solana very well may come back towards this $135, $140 level to start trying to find some support. I said the primary reasons as to why it would try to find support here was due to the fact that, one, there's a macro ascending trend line here in which we have now come back down to, so establish some support there. Two, we had this previous point of support back here, which is operating as the left shoulder of what could be an inverse head and shoulders, which we'll talk about in a second here. And three, of course, this would be a back testing of this cup and handle resistance in which we had previously found some support on right here. And so because of that, I said, look, what we are going to see is that if this market starts pulling back, there is a strong chance that we come back towards 135 and 140 bucks. And from there, we want to see support hold, because if that is the case, Solana, man, it could be looking for a beautiful move. Now, you may be asking, well, Tyler, what is that beautiful move? Let's recap and let me show you at least what I'm looking at and somewhat hoping that happens here. So let's go ahead and let's just clear everything off for a second. Let's just clear everything off for a second. And let's see what the daily looks like. Is this what I want to do? Yeah, this is fine. Okay, let's look at the daily charts. And the primary reason why I'm so excited about what Solana is doing right now is because of the structural formation we are seeing currently at this level. Now, what I have told you all consistently, especially while our price was up here, is again, if Solana's price finds some support here and works its way back up to 169, we're building a massive inverse head and shoulders. It would look like your left shoulder here, the bottom of your head being here, your, of course, neckline being here, and then again, your right shoulder being formed here. And in a situation in which you have this inverse head and shoulders come to full fruition, guys, we would have a breakout target on this thing sitting all the way up to, let's go ahead and show you. This is putting Solana at breaking out towards $220, giving us a new yearly high. So, of course, this is something that we can't ignore. And what needs to happen in order for this to occur is for Solana's price to continue to hold this support, in which it's holding right now, and start working its way back up towards $169. Now, personally speaking, I am doing a little bit of buying on Solana down here. I told you all in the last video, I'm doing a little bit of buying because if Solana's price does make this move, this is one of the last chances that we would have to get Solana before making that move back up towards $170, $180. So I have been doing a little bit of buying on Solana here, but I am still being cautious. Because what you have to understand is just because it looks like this is forming, just because it looks like this could be forming, doesn't mean that it's going to happen. Of course, we know there are many macro environmental factors that are impacting the crypto market right now. Solana is still moving based off of Bitcoin right now. And so because of that, at any given point, Solana could just continue back to the downside, especially if Bitcoin does. But of course, there's no really way of knowing if that's going to happen, but there are a couple things that you can look for to determine if that is going to happen. Now, if this macro inverse head and shoulders is going to be, let's say, invalidated, okay, if this isn't going to happen, the way in which you can identify that is if this micro, or let's call it macro actually, this macro support level gets broken to the downside. I would be willing to say that if over the next, let's call it week, where does that put us? October 11th right here. Let's go ahead and call it that. If over the next 7 to 10 days, we see this support level get broken to the downside, there's a very, very likely chance, very high chance, that Solana comes back down towards $127, this previous point of support. And because of that, that would somewhat invalidate this structure. Like, the structure would be so leaning that it would just almost wouldn't be an inverse head and shoulders anymore. Now, I guess if it just immediately rallies back up, we could maybe call it that, but it would definitely be much more difficult. And so what I would go ahead and say is that we are are now forming this inverse head and shoulders as long as Solana's price does not fall below this key level of ascending support within the next 7 to 10 days. And so what I'm doing personally is I am doing a little bit of buying, a little bit of accumulating, and I'm just kind of sitting back and watching. And if Solana's price can continue upwards, we are setting ourselves up for a possible move to $200+. But again, if it starts to pull back and if we do ABC correct here, which looks like A, B, C correction to the downside, this will likely get invalidated, and we do need to kind of get a fresh set of eyes on this thing. And so with that in mind, of course, I will continue to update you as this does play out and as these moves do happen. And don't forget, if you do want to trade some Solana yourself on up to 100x leverage with a bunch of different types of collaterals, you can use my Margex link down in the description below. Make sure you check that out. And one other thing, guys, that I will let you know, I do post a ton more content, even sometimes about Solana, over on my second channel, which is also linked down there if you want to go check that out. But overall, of course, I hope you guys did enjoy today's video, and I can't wait to see you all next time. Peace out, everybody.